Now, everyone here is in for a treat. So a lot of people have come up to me and say, wow, Chirag, you look really great and trim. And then you go talk to my wife and she'll tell you that I eat ice cream and potato chips every day. So over the course of my fitness journey, I actually met a really special person. And the thing I really liked about Jacob is he's very direct, very to the point, and he understands what his job is. But also, the man is a genius. So when you see him, he might not smile often, but it's because he has a purpose. And I've worked with a lot of people, and the first thing I did when I met him, he says, Chirag, everything you know, your body's completely broken, you have no idea what you're doing, and if you don't want to understand that, I don't want to work with you. I said, oh, I like him. He cares. So, Jacob, come up here.
Crowd yelling, bring 'em out, bring 'em out. I'm a hot girl selling, bring 'em out, bring 'em out. All the dope boys selling, bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Front the back gate yelling, bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Yeah, what up, this is great.
That's your moment, man.
Yeah, thank you.
But,
Yep. I'm just waiting for it to come up on the left slide.
I think you hit it one more time.
The left monitor isn't going. Hi guys, I'm Jacob Zemer, and I'm not a real estate agent. But I like real estate agents. You guys like to look good. That's a big win. You guys talk openly about money. I love that. Most people shy away from that topic. You guys understand the ultimate form of a compliment is a referral, right? We're both in results-based professions. People hire me to look better. I was originally a personal trainer. I loathe that term. I am not your therapist. I am not your friend. I don't want to do personal stuff. I'm serious. I have clients that have lost 50 pounds with me. I have no clue what their kids' names are. I've done entire hour sessions with people, and I've never said, what are you doing this weekend? Because I don't care, right? I don't. It has nothing to do with why you hired me. When people go and they have this idea, I'm gonna hire this guy, he's gonna kick my ass, he's gonna call me on my bullshit, what ends up happening is they get some guy who can barely afford to pay his Verizon bill. That's not me. And so what ends up happening is they never look at you and say, what you're saying to me right now is complete nonsense, you know it is, and I know it is. So, kind of set the tone, I'll slow it down a little bit. I am a performance coach. I'm gonna take a moment and tell you about my background, where I'm from, because I think it relates to my life's mission. How many people here have heard of Portville, New York?
Yeah, exactly.
Portville, New York. None of you have, because the population is 950 people. You would never want to visit there. I'm not trying to be mean. I just am direct. I told you I'm direct. I don't even particularly like to visit there. I mean it. It's well below the poverty line. I am one of 5 children. I am the oldest with 4 younger sisters. My mother was pregnant with me at the age of 15. My father had 0 interest in being involved. And in a small town, that's painful, because when people don't know who your dad is and everybody knows everybody's name, it's embarrassing. My stepfather came into my life, and he was a major positive influence. My dad, despite what I did not have, which we did not have resources, we did not have education, I had one thing, always, ambition. Even when I fail at something, it's not for lack of effort. If you would have asked me when I was very young, what did I want to be when I grew up? I'm going to be candid. I would have told you I'm going to be jacked, I'm going to have a cool car, and I'm going to have a hot girlfriend. I know, I get it, all right? That's not PC, and I understand, like, you know, it's a ridiculous thing to say, but that's really what I just would have said. So, my dad used to bring home the New York Times on the weekend. And I would always look through it because I had aspirations for something more. And I remember one day in particular, I think I was about 13, I was looking through the paper, and there was this huge one-page article. It was an advertisement. I'm getting a little emotional. It was an advertisement, and it was of a huge chronograph watch. And I saw this thing, and I don't know, I just always was interested in material things. I saw this thing, and I took the paper upstairs, and I called a New York City jewelry store. you know, my idea of big city was like Buffalo, New York, all right? But I called a New York City jewelry store, and I was talking to the gentleman on the other line, and he was really gracious. I mean, my idea of an expensive watch was like, this thing's gotta be $800. It's gotta be really expensive. Called, he explained to me the watch was a Breitling, and it was $30,000. Now, I know at this moment you're looking for me to say, that motivated me. But I'm just gonna be honest. I'm the kind of person, when something hits me, it hits me in the gut first. I take a step back, and then I realign and I get recentered. And that's exactly what happened. I politely exited the conversation, and then I started thinking about my life and what I wanted to do with it and the kind of aspirations I had. Why does that relate to what I do? Because as a performance coach, people think about fitness as a destination and not a journey. They are constantly thinking about the end goal, which means they never reach it because they get frustrated along the way to it. Because they think that they've been eating incorrectly for the last 10, 15, 20 years, and for 6 months you're gonna work out and you're gonna look like that guy who has 1 million followers on Instagram because he's got an insane body, right? People look at somebody who's in incredible shape and they immediately start to look at themselves, their limiting thoughts, and their insecurities, rather than actually conceiving that it's possible that you could enjoy this entire journey on the way. Right? That from where you are right now, which you might not be completely happy with how you are, how you feel, how you look, that you could actually day in and day out enjoy while you get to that spot. Let's see if this moves. Okay. Everything you've been told about dieting is a lie. What do I mean by that? Most of you probably believe that you have to be miserable, that you have to be antisocial. Okay, last night I was out with you guys networking. Tonight I'm gonna be out with you guys for dinner. What's tomorrow? Nothing's going on tomorrow. Saturday, I'm going to some affordable art thing. I'm going to buy some art from my apartment. I'm going out to dinner afterwards, some sushi place. Sunday, a client of mine is having a wedding at Cipriani. You do not have to be antisocial. You just have to have a game plan. When I go to these events, I look and I say, okay, I'm going to go to this dinner. I'm going to go to this restaurant. What am I going to order off the menu? And then I just adjust the rest of my day around it. The biggest reason is that most of you believe a lie, and it's why 80% of diets fail. 80%. Even in the cases where people lose weight, they end up regaining it 3 to 5 years after they lost the weight. That's a sobering statistic. Even the success stories are failures in the long run. And the reason for this is you believe that diets have to be chicken, rice, and broccoli. Most of you, I've had several conversations with you guys last night, and I'm not trying to be rude, but I heard a couple ridiculous things like, oh, you know, I have a glass of wine, this isn't good for me. Oh, I had a tequila, this isn't good for me. I'm not telling you that alcohol isn't a carcinogen. Of course it is, we all know that, but you're not gonna stop drinking. But you can still have as far as a 6-pack of abs, like myself, and still drink. I drink Casa Azul on a regular basis. You just have to account for it. You have to be realistic about the rest of the day and the rest of the decisions that you're making in order to achieve that goal. So again, I think everything that you've been told about the diet is a lie. Like chicken, broccoli, rice is not the way to do things because you will not enjoy it. The same is true with exercise. You guys have this notion that pain is gain. Pain is gain. It's not true. Most of the times when I have a client and they say, ow, that hurts, I'm like, all right, let's stop. We just switch it. I don't even have clients lift until failure, meaning they can't go any longer, because all the scientific literature we have says that that's actually not beneficial, that you should be lifting suboptimal weight. I think of exercise, I think of a diet more of like a first date. Or maybe more relevant to this, when somebody calls you for a listing, hello, blah, blah, you pick up the call. You start talking to the person, and 2 minutes in you realize this person's crazy, and you don't want to sell them a house. Okay, you should do the same thing with exercise. You go to Peloton, you go to SoulCycle, you go to Rumble, whatever it is, even a trainer, and you say, do I actually like this guy? Am I actually going to get results of it? Am I actually enjoying the experience? I know you say, Jake, I'm never going to enjoy an exercise. It's not true. Betsy started with me. She didn't want to do any exercise. She loves Orange Theory now. She loves Pilates. There is an exercise out there for you, whether it's playing basketball, whether it's Zumba, whatever your thing, that you can find that you can actually enjoy. And in the year 2021, where 72% of America is overweight, where obesity is a major big bucks, there are foods out there that taste delicious and that are low in calorie. Have any of you guys ever had Halo Top ice cream? It's ridiculously good. Have you ever had protein chips? I mean, Quest came out with these potato chips, and I was like, this is gonna be crap. I was like, this just cannot, they actually taste like Doritos. Point is, as at this day and age, dieting has become way easier. We all have budgets. I think a lot about fitness as I do finance. The other day at my building, there was a gentleman who was wearing Gucci flip-flops. I was waiting for my car. I'm waiting there. He's sitting there. He's having an argument back and forth. I asked the valet, I said, what's going on? He said, the gentleman has not paid his parking bill. He cannot get his car back. Gucci flip-flops, $700, $1,000. He can't pay a $250 parking bill, right? You're laughing, but think about it. How many of you guys approach your diet the same way? Do you guys ever think about what your budget is? Do you guys ever think about actually what your plan is? Probably not. My job is to help recenter people. You guys are in this room because one, you've got to be type A. It's self-selecting, right? The people who came here, you want good things for yourselves. You guys are also here because you're successful. But the reality is you don't apply all those, I'm not saying all of you, but maybe perhaps some of you, don't apply those lessons that you've learned to this area. You don't leverage yourself, right? This is what, where's Coach Drake? This is what he taught me. He said, Jake, you're doing phenomenally well. You need to hire an assistant, okay? You need to hire somebody to manage your social media. You know how many hours he's freed up in my life? It's unbelievable. And it's the same thing you can do with fitness. You just start leveraging yourself. You go hire somebody who's an expert. You go hire a trainer. If you don't have time to cook meals, you find a meal prep company. I mean, these guys are making a ton of money off it. Fresh Direct, which I think delivers anywhere around here, they offer meal prep these days, and it's actually really good. There's a wealth of information. I do get it. It's sometimes hard to see for the forest from the trees, and so it's hard to figure out exactly what to do, but you have the ability to leverage yourself and have success in this area. So again, fitness is like a budget. I would say it's like this. 70% of your diet should be fruit, vegetables, protein. 30% can be your ice cream, your tequila, your chips. You say, Jake, thank you. You say, Jake, I don't think I can have ice cream and still lose weight. That's absolute nonsense. It's the same principle we use. It's the law of thermodynamics. Most of you just don't have a concept of what modern dieting looks like, and so it seems mystifying. The same way in your finances that 70% of your money should be going to like your mortgage, your IRA, things along these lines, and 30% could be for your cool car and your clothing and stuff like that. It's the same principle here. As long as you're making good decisions the majority of the time, you can have some room to splurge as long as you have a plan. Okay, so 3 simple steps to dieting. We heard Kurt Chirag talk earlier, and he said, hey, don't give away your information. That is exactly what I do. On Instagram, I have found I give away stuff all the time of what you're supposed to do and how you could actually watch probably 30 of my posts on Instagram and actually know how to diet. People will still hire me. I found that out a long time ago. As more information I give out, the more people hire me as a coach. So I'm going to go through the 3 phases that I do with any client, and you guys could actually do this without hiring me as well. I know it sounds like a sales pitch that I'm saying, hey, the 3 processes that I will have you do, but any person in here, if you can keep yourself accountable, could do the same thing yourself. The first and foremost thing I want everybody to understand is this process is about you. Right? It's about getting in touch with you again. Many of you, as I said, you have this career, and so you've stopped making time for yourselves. So you have to have a realization. I'll give you a couple of examples of what happens with people day in and day out. We'll go example, there's a woman, she wakes up, she rushes to get out of the house, she skips breakfast, she's at lunch, she orders a salad. Salads are healthy, right? The salad has olive oil on it, the salad has avocado on it, the salad has nuts on it. You have no clue how many calories you just had for lunch. The average woman on a diet is having somewhere between 1,200 and 1,400 calories a day, and you probably just ate around 800 to 1,000 calories. There was probably 400 calories of dressing alone on that salad without you even realizing it. You get home, you have a harvest bowl. It's 600 calories. It's like got 40 grams of fat. People send this to me all the time. Is this healthy? No, it's not healthy. It might have healthy fats, but it's not going to help you lose weight. You have a glass of wine, you have one little piece of dark chocolate, the one thing that you really wanted to have all day. You get done and you're like, you know why I didn't lose weight? Because I had that piece of dark chocolate. No! I mean, you could have actually enjoyed yourself for lunch, you could have enjoyed yourself for dinner, had that piece of dark chocolate, and still lost weight. You just had to cut back the portions. So the first phase is really realizing, hey, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. I heard some people tell me last night, oh, you know the reason I don't lose weight? No, tell me. Oh, because I eat too little. Okay, that's your problem. That's what's going on. Millions of children starve to death, but you here in Brooklyn, New York, are just eating too little. Your life's that hard. That's what's going on. Okay, those people, remember the people, the crazy people who call you about listings? I'm like, okay, well, yeah, oh, I'm sorry, I have to go. Boom, bye. Let's think of another example. The man wakes up, he's rushing out the door, he goes get his breakfast sandwich. He's running. He thinks, oh, I got turkey bacon, it's healthy. There's still an egg, there's still cheese, there's still the bread. Goes to lunch, he gets the burger, he skips the fries. Oh, I'm doing a good job. Gets to dinner, he eats how many, God knows how many of his kids' Dino Nuggets. He has no clue what he just ate. How many of the French fries this time? He has a beer before bed. Why am I gaining weight? This is ridiculous. First question in your workbook. How many calories do you need to eat in a day? Write it down. Take a guess. Maybe you don't care. How many calories do you need to eat? 2,000? Write it down. And by the way, this is really, I've told you I'll give away information for free. It's called TDEE, Total Daily Energy Expenditure. You can Google that, you can find a calculator, it will tell you the answer to this. It will give you the actual cheat code, right? People still hire me. I tell them, you can go on MyFitnessPal. You can download MyFitnessPal. It will literally track for you and tell you what your goals are. It's just people don't follow it, so they still end up hiring me. But you could do this completely yourself. Tracking. So, you found a goal. You start to follow it. Dieting is more about time management than it is discipline. People say to me all the time, you're very disciplined. Listen to me. I am ADHD. I was an absolute maniac in my 20s, complete problem child. I understand that I've become disciplined and I become like a picture for that. Like people see me like, this guy's got big thighs, he's got abs, oh, he must be really disciplined. I just had to create a structure because I would have been a complete failure the rest of my life if I didn't. Structure is what's going to see you through day in and day out. You start to find choices like, hey, what's my go-to breakfast? Hey, what am I going to do for lunch? You start to actually plan things and you look ahead at the schedule. Why do people hire me then if I'm telling you what to do? Because people need me to stay on top of them day in and out so they stay focused. That's exactly it. So that they can maintain that mental focus so that they're looking through and they're doing these things. But just to basically optimize. So think about a couple things. Do you know how many calories are in that Starbucks drink you drink? Do you know how many? Exactly. Do you know how many calories are in your kid's plate? Parents love to finish their kids' food. You guys, you're hardwired, right? You all have nice lives. Awesome. You think it's wasteful to throw out the food. Okay, I get it. It's probably not wasteful for you to eat it either. You really don't need the meal. Either way, it's wasted. Just throw out the plate. Question number 2. What are you currently eating that you're going to research how many calories are in? Okay, adjustments. That's when we start making adjustments. I don't give people diets. Diets don't work. Remember we talked about that? If I tell you what to do, you're going to try to pretend yourself like you're not yourself. Go back to the dating analogy. Go back to the first job interview. You totally fake your resume. You go on the job. You get the job, you get fired 3 months later because you don't know how to use Excel or whatever the heck you said you could do that you can't. Right? Same thing happens with the diet, guys. You can't pretend to be something you're not. I had this guy, he kept snacking on carbohydrates at night. So I started working on him with strategies to find low-calorie dense food. And he's like, no, I just need to go ketosis. Why would you do that? Why would you go directly on with a heavy fortified area? Like, go around it. Like, what are you doing? Many people take this approach. So we start to look for adjustments, something like Halo Top as opposed to Haagen-Dazs. You like alcohol. We all like alcohol. Okay, let's do liquor, no mixer. Okay, Jake, I can't live without a mixer. Okay, can we do a low-calorie mixer? Can we do seltzer, something like that? We just compromise. We find common ground and we get the job done. And again, you could do this on MyFitnessPal yourselves. You could start to learn this whole process. People just hire me, 1, because I expedite it, and 2, I keep them to the flames when they get sick of doing this. Maybe we start to add fiber to your diet so you feel more satiated. You say, Jake, I feel a little bit hungry. We add fiber. It slows down digestion. This is an example of how you can adjust things. I want you to look at the paper and say, what is one thing I'm going to change about my diet to lead a healthier life? Let me segue here for a minute. Okay, how many people here get preventative labs twice a year from their doctor? Twice a year. I know he does because he's a client. How many people? Preventative labs. You go in, you get your comprehensive metabolic panel, you get your triglycerides, you get your glucose checked, right? Your liver enzymes. These are your organs. You know, when people talk about health, what that means is that your health markers are actually good. Your blood pressure is actually good. The things that actually are going to keep you alive and prevent you from dying. Listen, you guys have become very successful. You are assets. Your family depends on you, right? In my family, as I mentioned before, I don't come from a lot. When a college loan is due, I'm the person who gets the phone call. When there's furniture that needs bought, I'm the one who gets the phone call. You guys are assets. You need to take care of yourself. You should be going to get your blood work. You're over 35 years old. Have you had your testosterone checked if you're a male? You're a woman, you're over 40. Are you looking at your estradiol? I hear women all the time, oh, I think I'm going through menopause. What does that mean, you think? Just go see your doctor. Somebody says to me, I have shoulder pain. Oh, okay. Did you get an MRI? No. Oh, okay, go get an MRI, see if there's anything structurally wrong with your shoulder. If they're not, let's go to a physical therapist. Let's start addressing, maybe it's just, I'm gonna use a fancy word, myofascial tissue, which just means you need manual therapy done in there. That means massage therapy. I'm using big words, I have to with my rate. And so you start going in there, you massage, you stretch, you open it up. Most of these problems that you think are major issues are not. They're simple. And you know why they're simple? Because I see it all the time. Because people who do things get better at doing things. And I do this all day. So think about one thing, not just in your diet, but in your life you're going to change. If you have not had preventative labs done, and you're 35, you're 40, you're 45 years old, and you have no clue what your PSA is, you don't even know what your PSA is, guys, start taking care of yourself. And when I say guys, I mean women and men, please. Thank you. Okay, so those are the three phases. I'm going to restate them. Phase number 1, realization. Phase number 2, track. Phase number 3, adjust. Like I said, anybody can do this on their own. Takes about a month. There are apps out there like MyFitnessPal. I even use that app with clients. I'm giving you value-added information here. This is what I would tell clients to do. The only difference is that they have me as an expert consultant through the whole process, so we move it along quicker. 72% of America is overweight. Talked about it already. Does anybody know what the #1 correlation for heart disease is? Yeah, you can't talk, you're cheating. Does anybody know what the #1 correlation for diabetes is? Okay, does anybody know what the #1 correlation for hospitalization from COVID is? Do you know anybody know what the #1 correlation for impotence is? Obesity. Does anyone know what the I'm gonna use a fancy word, what the #1 correlation for hypogonadism is? That means your testosterone is low. Okay. Do you know what the American Heart Association's recommendation is for cardio? 150 minutes in a week. It's Thursday. I'm going to give you all the benefit of the doubt that you're going to hit that number this week, okay? But how many did that last week? How many ran 2.5 hours last week? We got a couple people. Awesome. By the way, guys, I know I sound maybe perhaps self-righteous when I'm saying this. I don't live in this world where I expect you to immediately start doing 2.5 hours of cardio. I don't even necessarily ever expect you to do it, but I want to start moving you closer, because the #1 thing you need to understand, going back to fitness is like finance, is there is a very big difference between going out and losing $2,000 and going out and losing $20,000, right? There is a difference between not doing anything all week and at least doing something. And you need to get out of that mindset when it comes to your health. Something is better than nothing. You doing an hour of cardio a week is way better than doing absolutely zilch, okay? So I try to just move the chains. We try to move the needle along a little further and get you, and I meet you where you're at and try to get you moving. And in fairness, you should meet yourself where you're at, because again, you're an asset. You worked very hard to make this money, you looked very hard to look good, you worked very hard to sell these houses, and you worked very hard for your children, and you need to be around to enjoy it. Okay. You can ask any one of my clients, Jess, am I mean? Yes, I'm mean. But in all seriousness, I'm just hyper direct. But here's the reality. As mean as I am, the common enemy that we all face in this room is far more ruthless than I am. Everyone here is aging. Physiology has no concern, right? Cancer has no concern. Heart disease, stroke, these things don't care. So as nasty as I am, these are far bigger problems than me. Sure. Okay. Question number 4, what is your plan going forward? The gentleman on the left is Elias. I've met him twice in my life. He lost about 20 pounds with me. The gentleman on the right, I have only met one time. The gentleman, Steve Breezy, I don't even know if he's in here. I think he's upstairs working a deal for Jess. Steve Breezy, he's the gentleman over there doing the banking. He lost 17 pounds with me. I never met him before until yesterday. I routinely get people in the best shape of their lives. Why do I do it? When people ask me that answer, how do I do it? I tell them it's me. That's the only answer I have. I'm just very intense. Either you're gonna do this or you're not. If you don't wanna do it, it's fine, because there's plenty of people who are calling me asking for service. So if we're gonna do this, let's do it. If you don't want to, I suggest all of you, though, take this conversation today and think about for yourself what you're doing, and take a real good hard look, at least about the labs, guys. Go get your blood work done. Go talk to your primary care physician. Take care of yourselves, and start thinking a little bit more about like putting down the fork when you're at dinner. It's as simple as that. Just put down the fork. All right, what's your next move? Okay, I'm gonna take a minute again, go back to me. Remember the watch? This isn't it, all right? This is a Rolex. I have way better taste now, okay? But where I am now is I'm speaking in front of 500 very successful people. Tomorrow, I'm filming with CNN. They're gonna air a piece early in October about losing weight during the COVID. I was featured in Muscle and Fitness this year for my celebrity client, Kyle Brandt, losing weight with me. I'm constantly on influencers like Callie, Brian Mazza. Men's Health is doing a piece on me at the end of the year. I actually work out partners with the head editor of Men's Health. It's a much different life than I have now. My life, and I mean this honestly, I got everything I wanted. I wake up and my life is a dream. Thank you. And I say that because, one, it feels good to say, and two, because there is a course of action for anyone. Regardless where you're at right now and how you feel, you are in control and you can take action. And especially the people who are in this room. I understand there are some people who maybe circumstances are beyond their control, but we are all very fortunate in this room that if we have a problem, if we face it head on, we can solve it. I would ask you guys to follow me on Instagram. I'm at Jacob Zemer. I am trying to get followers up. As mentioned, it's very difficult to. We got about 6,000 followers this year. I also will tell you, not only for my benefit, I'd appreciate it, but also too, I give out free information on there constantly. So if you're even just interested in fitness and health and just in general, it's on there, and you will be able to at least anything I put out. I'm not a particularly altruistic person. I think that's clear from the speech. But anything I put up on Instagram, the way I think about it is, will this help someone? And the reason I do is because I think there's enough pictures of like people flexing, or enough pictures with people without their clothes on, that if I'm gonna bother to spend money on content, it might as well have like a productive purpose and add something to the planet Earth. You can go to jacobzemer.com. There's a full list of pricing and service. Listen, sincerely, I wanna thank you guys. It's a really exciting experience. I've been doing more and more speaking engagements. I'm thrilled to be able to talk in front of you. I wanna thank this man. You've absolutely helped me.
Come on, guys, let's get him a nice picture. Come on. The boy with the heart.
I want to take 1 second. I want to thank this man, though, sincerely, because he really helped me. Not only helped me make more money, I make significant more money. I make about 200% what the industry standard is in my career. I make 20 times what the industry standard is in my profession. And not only that, but when I first met him, I was doing it. I was like just pushing that freaking stone up the hill every day. It was rolling back down. I was working about 70-something hours a week. Remember I said, the issue was never I didn't try, right? He got me to where now I'm working about 55 hours a week and making that kind of income. So you really improved my quality of life. Thank you.